Hello, everyone. I'm Ronnie Beck, and this week's discussion thread is over George Marsden's work, The Outrageous Idea of Christian Scholarship. This work was used during the Historical Professions course through Liberty University in the spring of 2021. A key component to this work is to discuss that mainstream American higher education should be more open to the relationship between religious faith and learning. Marsden argues that scholars should provide their faith into the intellectual life of learning. Marsden provides guidelines for bringing Christian and other religious perspectives into academic learning without being overbearing with their view. Marsden also outlines the loss of many universities' initial faith-based intent and how they had lost that perspective to a more mainstream thought process. Much of Marsden's work proves that a scholar's personal beliefs do have a place within the teaching confines. Marsden describes why Christian perspectives are not welcomed in current everyday academia life today. But the chapter that had a lasting impression on me was the arguments for silence. After reviewing that chapter, some of the aspects Marsden brought forth actually found its way into a conversation that I had with some co-workers one day. In particular, I brought up how Marsden, when he was addressing multiculturalism and diversity, he speaks of diverse cultures, how they're welcomed into academia, but Marsden says as long as they leave their religious dimensions of their cultures at the door. Further, everyone is expected to accept the standard doctrine that religion has no intellectual relevance. Marsden points to freedom of speech on college campuses and points out that religious views are to be tolerated. However, today campuses have created a culture where the offended is catered to and religious rhetoric is considered offensive. And of course, this is limiting free speech. As I'm reading this, what I'm visioning is that religious speech is to be tolerated as long as it's not Christian, as that can be offensive. You know, on campuses today, someone can only talk about religion and politics as long as there's no dissenting opinion that allows someone to be offended. I'm not going to sit here and get into a whole cancel culture discussion, but that was kind of what I took from that part in that chapter. Marsden goes on and he covers the rules of Christian scholarship in the academic game and how Christian scholarship can make a difference by providing some positive contributions to the theological context, and state that Christians should reflect on their perspective, the implications of their perspectives whenever they have more extensive questioning that they have to cover. Marsden concludes his work by providing a framework for building academic communities. Marsden argues that Christian scholarship will not realize its potential unless it can establish a strong institutional base. He referenced that like-minded individuals have to have a concerted voice in order to usher faith-based perspective to contemporary academia. While Marsden writes about cultivating spiritual virtues, what I found to be the most profound point of the entire work was when he writes, "While this book is primarily about the theoretical basis for the relationship of faith to learning, It is essential to remember that teaching in the most important way in which the fruit of our labor is conveyed. Thank you very much.